Hello lovelies, welcome back to Lifestyle Chapter. If today is your first time seeing this channel, I welcome you to the family. And today I'm going to share with you another delicacy that is mostly enjoyed in Ghana, and that is the Nkatse Nkonto, or the green peanut soup. This soup is very nutritious and very delicious. It is a soup that is not always made like the other soups that we enjoy. This is made actually on occasions, and today I'm going to share with you step by step on how to get this done. I hope you stay with me to the end of the video for you to know how I achieved this recipe, and I know you're going to learn one or two from this recipe. So I'm having this with fufu, and I know fufu, it's very popular, that people love, and this is a very good accompaniment for it. So lovelies, let's get started. So the protein I'm using for this recipe, I have here my goat meat that I'm going to wash under running water. So I have 3 pounds of goat meat that I'm using for this recipe, and I'm trying to make sure the goat meat is washed and cleaned well before I use it. So this is the first wash that I've done. I'm doing a second time to make sure there are no unwanted stuff on the goat meat, and also it is clean well. So I'm taking my time to wash it thoroughly under running water in my sink. So I'm done washing it for the second time, and I'm draining off the water. And this is the third time I'm going on to wash it. And the third time is going to be my final wash, because I know very well that it is clean. So with this, whenever I'm doing this recipe or whenever I'm making any soups, I make sure to put my meat in the oven for the oils on the meat to come out before I use it. So I have my baking sheet or baking pan ready. I'm going to put all the goat meat on it. As you can see, I have my goat meat on it, and then what I'm going to do next is to add on some salt to give the meat some taste. It is optional. If you don't want to use salt, that is fine, but for me to get my soup to be more tasty and also the meat in the soup to be tasty, I'm adding some salt on it, and then I will put it in the oven. Here it is going to take most of the oil out, the fat of the goat meat out, so that my soup doesn't become too oily at the surface, which is very healthy as well. So that is done. Here I'm going to use spinach. Normally we use kontomire, that's the cocoyam leaves, but at this part of the world that I'm in, I can't find coconut leaves. It is rare to have it unless maybe you have somebody coming from home, or some African stores might have it, but where I am, I don't have access to it. So I'm using, or I'm substituting it for my baby spinach, which I can get it from any supermarket around me. So that is what I'm using for this recipe as my kontomire or my cocoyam leaves. So I'm washing it under running water, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. So I'm washing it into another bowl nicely to make sure it is clean. So here is the baby spinach. I'm adding in some water in a pot. And then to that, since I don't also have here the turkey berries, that is Kwensusuaa or Saman ntroba, for the recipe I'm going to substitute that for peas. You can use peas as your Saman ntroba or Kwensusuaa or turkey berries for this. So that is what I'm substituting that for. So I'm adding in some peas onto the spinach and I'll bring it to a boil. So as you can see, it is boiling and it's almost done. It's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes for it to be done. So for you to be sure, I just pick one of the peas and then I will just squeeze it to see if it is cooked. And as you can see, it is done, it is cooked. So I'll put that one aside. And back to the goat meat. As you can see here, the goat meat is done. It was in the oven for about 40 minutes on 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So here the oils or the fat on the goat meat has drained off it, and if you can see very well, you will find some oils in the baking sheet. So at least I've been able to take out some oils or some fat from the goat that I'm using for the soup. So to that, I have my pot ready for the soup. I'm going to transfer all the goat meat on the pan into the pot. That is what I'm trying to achieve here, because it's going to be the basis of the soup that I'm going to make. And to that, I have my cow skin or wele. I already worked on it, and as you can see, the wele is soft enough, so I'm not going to boil or cook it before I put it in there. I already worked on it. I took the unwanted part out and then it's ready in the pot. Also, I have here my snails that I have also worked on. I have washed it nicely thoroughly with salt to take away the sliminess out, and the unwanted part I've cut them off, and so I've added that to the protein I'm using for this recipe. And also I'm adding to it the beef tripe, which has been washed and cut into preferred sizes, and that is also a protein that I'm adding for the soup. So you can see I have variety of meat, and here I'm also adding in some smoked turkey neck, which is seasoned with salt, and it makes your soup so delicious. And for the seasoning, I have here my chopped onions that I'm going to blend. Also, I have my mini bell peppers, some garlic, ginger, fresh rosemary, and some fresh bay leaf that I'm going to add everything into the blender. And to that, I'll also be adding in the tomato paste. I normally do this so that it will blend nicely with the spices, and also when it goes on the protein or whatever protein you're using, it will give it more taste, and it also helps the tomato paste to cook very well so that it prevents the soup from tasting sour or raw. I'm adding in some water to help the blades of the blender blend smoothly. And also to that, I'm adding in some salt. Here is going to help the protein to have the taste of the meat in there. That is why I added in some salt. So this is it. After blending, I have that ready, and I'll put that aside. So back to the protein in the pot, ready on fire. I'm going to add in the spices I blended onto it. And I'm making sure I don't throw anything away, so I'm rinsing the blender to make sure I have everything intact. And so that is what is going to help cook the protein. I'll stir everything nicely up together to make sure the meat in there is marinated well with the spices. And I'll allow it to cook for about 15 minutes. To that, I'll add in 1.5 fresh red onions, and also I'm adding in about 6 pieces of habanero peppers, and I have here some tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. This is a big pot of soup that I'm making. That is why it is going to have a lot of habanero peppers, because it is a soup for about 15 people. And here is the spinach that is cooked. It is done. I'm going to blend this. So I'm transferring it into the blender. And to that, I have on top of it about 3 tablespoons of peanut butter. I don't know what happened. I think the video skipped or something, so you couldn't see how I got it in. But I 3 full tablespoons of peanut butter, and then I'm going to blend everything up together. So everything is set. Here is our spinach and peanut butter blended together, and look how the color is looking beautiful. So that is set and ready for the soup. After 15 minutes, I came back to check on the soup, and this is how it's looking. Now I'm going to take off the tomatoes, onions, and the peppers out, because I'm going to blend it and add it back to the soup. Around this time, the juices have all infused into the meat, and it's making the soup, is going to make the soup so juicy and tasty. So this is where you have to make sure you put most of your salt in to get the tastiness of the meat. You don't want your meat, you don't want your soup to be done and then your meat is not tasting good. So this is the time you have to put in your salt, enough salt to get into the meat well, so that when you add in the other ingredients and the water for the soup, you still get the tastiness of the meat in the soup. So I'll cover it up and then come back to it again. Here I'm adding the blended ingredients, the tomatoes, pepper and onions that I blended back into the soup, and then I will stir everything up nicely together. Now you can see the soup is coming up. It's coming up gradually and it's smelling so good. I'm tasting to see if the spice in it is okay, and everything seems perfect. So to that, I'm adding in the spinach and peanut butter that I blended to it. Look at how the color is looking so good. It's looking so colorful already. I'm going to stir everything up together nicely. But before then, I don't want to throw anything away, so I rinsed the bowl and then I've poured the water back into it. So here I'm stirring the soup. The soup is almost done. I'm stirring everything nicely and beautifully, and I'm so in love with the color already. Here, because I've added a lot of salt in there, I've tasted and it still feels good. It tastes so good because the salt, I had a lot of salt at the basic of it, and so you wouldn't need a lot of salt around this time. And so I'm adding in some water to check the thickness of the soup, and I've added in about a liter of water, and I'm stirring it nicely. And then I'll leave it to cook for about 15 minutes. And also to that, I have in my dry fish. If you have any dry fish that you like, you can add it to the soup to give it more flavor. I have this dry fish that I wanted to add to it, so I need more flavor, and I want my soup to be like the authentic, typical or original Nkatse Nkonto, and you should be here to smell it, lovelies. It is so amazing. So now all my proteins are set in there, and I'm waiting for it to cook. So lovelies, after about 25 minutes, this is how our soup is looking. So beautiful, juicy and attractive. Go ahead and give this soup a try. This can go with rice bowls, fufu, anything that you want. And please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like the video. I hope to bring you another video. Bye.